In all ways anatupiga nyuma na anatupiga mbele. Tuta understand kwa nini sisi ni wajinga. We are still not angry enough. When you are angry enough, Ruto anatoka kesho.
Haya, you've heard from the gentleman. It's 3 minutes past 6 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Hey, kwani kumeanza?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Spaces where we give you your drive and also those who are going to work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hapa hivi kwenye Home Run with Pipi. We come to you each and every weekday from Monday from 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. And of course, I've just come back from my sabbatical, and I also had a family emergency that I was handling. So I'd like to thank you for here with us today. Today we are discussing the finance bill. Kwenye alikuwa ameweka deputy na anajipromote anakuwa senior. And of course, contractors are getting contracts, and like that one who did a project in 7 years, nothing happened to him. So that is what I'd like to hear about. And of course, I'd like to say that Spaces are an alternative form of media. And the best part of it is we offer non-music entertainment and also conversations. So here we give you a chance, as many people as possible, to converse with us and tell us what is going on their side, and of course what their thoughts are on this. And that is why we rarely experts here is to say their thoughts. Tuone akili zao pia zimefika wapi. Now, having said that, I'd like to say Home Run PB is supported by you, the listener, 100%. If you like what I'm doing, 0721 948 229 is the tip jar line for you to support the show. My name is MC Peter. Welcome to the second hour of conversation hapa kwenye Home Run.
Conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run with Pipi.
Daktari Nimrod, habari yako? Dokta,
vipi
poa
Pipita?
sana bana.
Vipi Pipita bro? Vipi
Niko
bro?
poa.
Niko shughuli mbaya sana. Yeah. Good evening guys. Good. Habari wananchi. You guys, it's been long. It's been a while. I don't know what to say. There's a Mbugua. Mbugua just came out, and he just kind of he said something which I've been has been running in my mind for a while, and this is the problem. You see, and I kind of kept on giving you guys an example of what is happening, but you kept on ignoring it, and that's the problem with Kenyans. We kind of difficult in setting our differences aside and coming together and actually working together as a team. This job is very easy. The guy has given us all the ammunition. Ruto has given us all the ammunition, and that's why that Bugua guy, and you're pointing it out, this Morara guy, he's taking it upon himself. That's one individual. That's one individual doing what he's doing. Now imagine if Kenyans set aside their differences. Because there's so much some of us put into this initially, and then I cannot sit here and say I'll be disappointed. No, I wasn't disappointed because I could see it coming. But then everything has to evolve for people to understand why certain things take certain perspective to actually come to a fruition or actualization. And the thing is, Pipita, I say again, and I mentioned you, and I've seen Anthony also is on this festival. I've seen him down there. And anybody else who's been on this journey from before 25th to where we are today. Guys, there's a lot of support out here. A lot of support. People are willing to put their all, some even are willing to set aside their career and just come and do something, be part of something that is going to formulate a future for who we are as a people. But the problem is, Kenyans, we can't set our differences aside and work as a team. We can't set our differences aside, and that's where the problem comes in. And that's why these guys, the political class and the elite, have managed to divide us to this day. After what happened on 25th, they managed to actually divide us. It is sad, but because it's something which I've done my researches and, learned a lot and followed through different countries around the world. And I won't lie to you, the biggest hindrance with Kenya and Africans is our tribal lineage. And also, we kind of find it difficult to set our differences aside and actually work for common goal. Because everyone has to put in their say, or everyone wants to be seen, everyone has their own intentions, or there's something behind it. Tribe, maybe position, maybe, whatever you want to call it. And that's a reality, the bottom line. And that's why Mbugua said 80%, probably 80%. You ask me, I'll say 100%. I'll even go to 110%, to be brutal. But we have to be honest with ourselves before we can go out there and deal with what we're dealing with. And this is why I will come back to you, Pepita, again. Can you please, I'm begging you, because you're doing what you're doing, and I appreciate that. Same thing with Kenya, same thing with these other guys. I've been on all in spaces. You guys, you need to first of all set a group amongst yourselves. Come together. And then formulate a space here where every Kenyan, and then you realize not only me, you get even people who have got more experience than me coming onto spaces, because it's structured. It's something which people can work with. And there you find the easy people to put their resources, people to put their careers, their life on the line, because they know the unity which is in there, if it's translated into the ground, think the impact it can have. And that's why people are saying, you keep on saying, you're not angry enough. No, because the anger hasn't been spread enough. The anger is on express. It's not out there. You understand? You go to the ground, saizi ukienda Mombasa, ukienda Kisii kule kwa Oparanya. I've been watching these videos. And it's sad. The people who are making noise, you look at the lifestyle and what the living conditions and the areas, the schools their kids go to, the hospital they are meant to go to. The other day, there's a clip on X I saw. In Kisii, they were transporting a sick person with a blanket through Vichochoro because there's no kind of what you call it, there's no infrastructure, roads to actually transport a Kenyan in this day and age. If that's not anger enough. Before that, if you remember a few years ago, before, I think it was the time ya Uhuru, kuna mama alizaa inja, Mama Lucy, is it Lucy Kibaki Hospital? Hapo inje, in front of her hospital, she gave birth and nobody kind of came to her help. If that was not anger enough, those are the images which we need to be replaying to actually show the reality on the ground. And that's what Morara is doing. But Morara is just one person. And I've been asking, guys, you guys on X, can you just get together? Set your differences aside. Come together.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. With that submission, Papita, thanks a lot for the time, man. I will always be here. I'm ready to go anytime.
Thank you, Nimrod. For that. I was not the one who was speaking, though, but all right. Thank you for that and also your suggestion. I feel like we have the unity of purpose. And we just want to, we keep on growing and also trying to put people to talk about whatever is going on. And I know it's a big responsibility to be a space host, so I don't take it for granted as well. I see Odongo and Mbugua has hands up, but I want to hear from the real Joe first, and then I'll go back to Odongo and Mbugua. The real Joe. Thank you so much, Faith, for that tip. If you like what we're doing, of course, there's a tip line to support the show. How are you doing, Joe?
Thank you very much, Pepita. Welcome back to the space. Anyway,
Asante sana.
anyway, what I want to say is just a few things. I didn't want really actually to I just wanted to listen. But I just had a few sentiments that I just felt like maybe I should also throw in some of my ideas in. Number one, I had Kate, if I am very right, Kate talked about something that I mentioned last week when I was traveling. I was traveling to one of the spaces, but also I had one of the guys talk about the act that is going to be that is being introduced in Parliament that wants to regulate demonstrations. So that's what I want to start with first. So there's that act that is supposed to come and regulate demonstrations. And this is because demonstrations are one of the very most effective ways of sending strong messages. And we've seen that, and it has worked for us. And therefore, that is something that is one thing that can be used against us completely, because that's the only tool that we have used effectively and has been able to work for us. But a few things we should also note, that public, as per Article 37, the assembly and the picketing is not just sometimes demonstration. And this is why I come also to what Kate said. I feel, and from the discussions I've had with some of these people, we have been given there's a way we have been branded as a movement. We have been branded as our very sole philosophy of leaderless, partyless, faceless. We have even been added some formless and things like that, has been used against us. And it has been used against us in this way, and is currently being used against us. You've seen the president as the muscles of going around the country to decode our message. He's not going around the country for any other thing. He's going around the country to reduce the heat that we are the ones who have applied on him. So he himself can go around the country and do that. Same to politicians. Politicians can have the muscles to do that. Kina Kalonzo can always host rallies and things like that. Those things are very effective in shaping public opinion. And you've seen that. Guys, you've been able to see what public opinion can do. You've seen what Morara is doing, and you can see that just that can also shape public opinion. But in our own philosophy of being leaderless, we are not able to shape public opinion more often, other than maybe producing skits and videos on social media and things like that. And therefore, one of the ideas, because you see, we are in a war. In a war, at some point, you need to have more than one multiple war front. You need to also use tactics, more than one tactic. For those guys who are following the war in Ukraine, you can see Ukraine is going to attack Russia inside Russia so that they can have a bargaining power, so that they can hope to use the territory they have gained to negotiate their own territory that has been taken from them. We can also open multiple war fronts. From what Kate said, we can start having our own assembly, not picketing, just assembling everywhere. We can just start watu wa Ngong Road wanajiassemble tu kila siku jioni, and you just have your own discussions. You can even do spaces from the ground. Watu wa wapi, people just have their own discussions like that, and it becomes a movement on its own, whereby every evening from 4, at least you'll find, hata kama people start fighting.
Joe. Looks like we've lost Joe. Joe. Can you hear me, Odongo? Allah, is it me or them? Mbokwa?
I can hear you.
Oh, I guess Odongo and
Even me, I can hear you.
I think Joe amepotea.
I want to Joe,
Mhm.
please, guys. we can start assembling wherever. If it's assembling wherever, we're assembling wherever to occupy everywhere. Kama umeattend maandamano zote, or rather most of them, manze, you'll understand what it means. These guys have do not have any regard for Article 37 of the Constitution, that we can assemble to picket. They have total disregard for that. My point, sahi tunafaa ku occupy everywhere. JKIA mu-occupy huko. Unaishi Kitui, occupy huko. Wayaki Way, occupy. Thika Road, occupy. Everywhere. Make it hard for them. That is my submission.
Thank you for that. Anthony, I saw your hand was in the air.
Yeah, there are people. You know, but the more you listen to people, the more you hear what they are saying. And as a person who has been a co-host and I started hosting my own space, Kenyans are saying one thing. That they keep on saying, if you guys can come together, it makes some sense. Why does it? They always say it makes some sense. We must work. Anything that is effective works like a government or a kingdom. You can have regionals, you know, where you say Pipita is the king, is the host of Society Pipita. There are people who associate with Society Pipita. And there are people who associate with Society Afrocentric and Society Anthony. All of us speak to people in a language that makes those people kind of associate with us. But these people are saying, now we want all of you to have one regional command. So that when we want to go and achieve something, like we want to do a maandamano like Mbogo is saying, that regional command gives us one voice that is a collective of all these other regions. And I believe, and it's something personally, I'll be very frank with everyone here, it's something personally I'm working on. I've been able to bring a few people together. And today, Pipita, when I hosted a space, someone said, what if you guys write a kind of constitution, a memorandum of some sort? And someone said, I'm on it. That memorandum will host and take into cooperation everything that is being said on these spaces. What are Kenyans saying? Then we shall have that document and tell Kenyans, this is what you're saying, and this is how we want it implemented. For instance, when you say, someone is here is saying that the Kenyan parliament wants to write a law against people agitating, like what we call maandamano in Kiswahili. I mean, that is, you can't do that. It's how you can't tell people how to do their maandamanos. That happens in countries like China and Japan, you know, where democracy is not the order of the day. So those are the things that we should take into account, and we are a voice. But Kenyans are saying,
no, Anto,
can you package?
Anto, allow me, please.
Yeah,
You're
please.
missing my point. It's like I'm sorry to interject. You ni kama nakachukua dem yako ama bibi yako. Do you think you will go back to the elders at the place Rorashio Mdienda?
So Mbogwa, how do we communicate
you will
to the
deal
people in Kisumu?
deal with me.
Okay, just explain what you're saying. How do we have this effective maandamano for you? How do we make it effective?
It has to be rogue. We have to play outside the constitution because that's what they've shown us. We have to be rogue. That's what I'm saying.
And then I have
Okay,
something
Mbogo,
to
because I
point
got
out.
what you're saying.
Just a minute, Anthony. I want to point out something. I want to bring back Uncle Rojas because I said hapa hivi kwa show yetu tunaongea mambo na facts. Hii ni kama yule brother yangu wa nani brother yangu wa huko hivi upande wa pili anasemanga kwamba system ya facts. Uncle Roja, what is that bill about assemblies? Because I'm seeing in your comment section saying there's this speaker who just stated that the assembling in our local area. Please understand that the proposed assemblies and demos bill proposes to have such assemblies outlawed. We can't have them without giving a 3 days notice to the police, lest we discharge the 100K. Charles JB saying speakers should leave emotion aside. A country must lawfully run. There is no way the government can generate money without bills taken to parliament. Then to the people, the law, then into law. Do not oppose for the sake. Wait and read the proposal, then take the next action. That is Charles JB writing on the comment section. Charles Asewa, give concrete ways how the government should generate money. Any government will put in place, whether now or later in 2027, bills have to be generated to parliament and to the people. Otherwise, I fear that we are losing focus on how Kenya, to make Kenya better. That is a submission from the Ken Carter himself and Ajita Charles JB. Yes, you're listening to Homeland with PP. I want to go back to Anto. I think I got you short, but before that, let me hear from Uncle Roja. What can you break it down in like 5 minutes? How this bill, what this bill is about, and keeping in mind that we have what we call we have that Article 37 that gives us the right to go out and demonstrate. So is it a direct attack on Article 37? I'd like to hear. Shout out to Joy Shiko. I see you in the building. I hope you're doing well. Uncle Roger. Looks like Roger is not here. Roger, unmute your mic. And of course, the people of the world of spaces have decided that my co-host should not come to the mic. Hey, DK has been waiting for me for the whole week, and then now, when the time is here, he's nowhere to be seen. They have taken him. Hey, Uncle Roger is not coming to the mic. But yes, Anthony, when you're also talking to people and advising them, remember there's also that bill. So what do we do about that bill? It was in the news today, in the papers. Uncle Roger. Sijui kama Roger ananisikia ama anaongea. Anto, unamsikia? Let me wacha to request the microphone again, Uncle, to talk to us. So, the real Joe, why is your hand in the air? The real Joe, unmute.
Basically, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to discuss more about the demonstration act that is being pushed in Parliament vis-a-vis Article 37 and the provisions. When you read Article 37, you must also keep tabs with Article 24. So this act is supposed to come and limit a few things and bring in a few things. Okay, Article 37 talks about the rights of picketing, of assembly, picketing, and presenting petitions. Okay? Assembly, picketing, and presenting petitions. So there's 3 elements there. There's assembly, there's picketing, and there's presentation of petitions. Before you read these articles blindly, and I'm using the term blindly, you need to also get down to the history of our country in terms of assembly and picketing. Do you know there's a time that you are not allowed to be in a group of 5 people? Okay? And that is why the framers of the Constitution came up with the term assembly. It was only churches that people used to assemble. And if yesterday you guys read through the assassination story that was going yesterday by Ahemba, you could have seen that already. You could have read some few elements from that in terms of assembly. So there are 3 things that I was just trying to mention. 3 things. We have assembly, we have picketing, and we have presentations of petitions. Do you know that going to a public rally, the way our politicians go to public rallies these days, that is assembly. And it is not allowed early campaigns. If you look at the electoral laws, politicians are not allowed to go for early campaigns, but they call those assemblies. They are going to assemblies and have assemblies and have direct conversations with citizens. They use the term assembly. Okay? And therefore, we need also to understand that. Then there's picketing, which is now demonstration. And just from a basic English definition of picketing is just, I think the word even picketing came across during the eras of labor, where workers used to demonstrate against what and things like that. So picketing is the one that we go to the street to picket and make noise and do that and cause civil disobedience. So if you look at this act that is coming in, it is coming to limit a few things. They want us, first of all, to notify in not less than 24 days that you are going to picket. They also want to introduce even things that organizers of these picketings must also agree to even incur some costs, including even cleaning after the protest, cleaning of the streets and things like that, with this act. So you guys need to go through this act vizuri sana. So those are some of the limitations that they want to bring. And also they want to bring in an element whereby when people are demonstrating, normal businesses are going on within Nairobi CBD. So so they want to just water down the protests completely. And that a protest cannot be that way. Picketing, that even beats the entire logic of picketing. So picketing is part of civil disobedience. When civilians go out and ensure that nothing is working on that particular day, that is their way of picketing. And also another thing that we need to take in and we need to keep in mind is, how have our protests been that we can say they have never been peaceful? Protests have always been peaceful, but it has always been taken as people antagonizing.
So what do we do? What's the way forward, bro? What's the way forward?
I'm trying to get, first of all, we need to understand these three terms. I want to understand picketing, assembly, and demonstrating.
So picketing, assembly, and presentation of petition.
Yes. Now, can you tell us what is happening now, what rights we have now, and what this bill is looking to curb? Maybe that is what Mbuga is being impatient about.
Okay, what we currently have as provisions of Article 37, we are allowed to picket, assemble, picket, and present petitions to authorities. Okay, and if you read Article 34 about limiting these rights, Article 34 requires that if you want to limit these rights, either it is presented via you file a petition and things like that to the court, and it is heard and things like that. The courts have been hearing the cases against protest several times, and some of them you've heard.
I'm banging my table, and I'm tired of banging my table. Please allow me to say this. Kibaki in 2002, when he became the president, he allowed us all these liberties. Anto, you can bear me witness. I think I submit. You were there when I made this submission. Kibaki.
Yes,
Kibaki,
Kibaki
in his
Kibaki did,
entire term ruled this. No. Listen to me. In his entire term, he ruled this country from 2002 to 2010 with the old constitution, Moi's constitution. 2010.
But Mbogwa, just allow him to finish, because
let him land, Mbogwa. In my show, people land, Mbogwa. If you have something to say, you will come after him. The only person with the right to interject on my show is me. The rest can wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Let's have a chain of conversation here. If you have a burning point, you can raise your hand. Real Joe, continue.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get a range with him, so kindly let me engage Joe. I'm the one who asked him. Joe, continue.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So basically basically, Mbugo, I've understood the concept you're bringing in. So I wish you could have just continued listening to me and get this. Kibaki is as a result of protests, and it was a new dawn in our country when Kibaki was elected. And you realize that everybody was in the side of Kibaki had before initially either led protests and things like that. And therefore they felt like that was a right, even without the constitutional mandate, that was a right to Kenyans. And therefore that is why he left that. But we need to understand protests, assemblies, and presentation of petitions. Because our protests usually ends at protests. If you look at it keenly, only maybe people who are in the law domain will always maybe try and present petitions and things like that. If you look at the way we do things, like right now, we can present petitions we can present as many petitions as possible to recall the current CSS. We can present petitions and do all those kind of things. Okay, we can sue the states. We can do all that. People have not been doing that. We have not been doing that. Right now, if 1 million Kenyans go to courts and just sue the government for particular things, that has never been done. It is only just a few people, the political class maybe, that always go to court to get some clarifications on things that are an interest to them.